Alright, so we're going to walk through all the lights and kits one by one. Before I get started on that, I just want to show the grip, the G&E kit. You can check out. This has an extension cable in it. It has some gloves for handling the hot lights. This kit is great. If you're ever taking out a hot light kit, a lull kit, I would really suggest that you take this. It has all the things you need to modify the dimming, the softness, spill, gels, gloves, extension cables. Makes that kit a lot more useful. So gloves for handling the really hot lights, really important. Has tinfoil, just like the black wrap for wrapping around our barn doors, for really shaping the light where we want it to go, covering any spills between the barn doors too. You could also put this over just practical lights if you're trying to control which direction they hit our subject. So the whole roll of that. And this stuff can be reused, so if it's still in good shape, just fold it up and put it back in there. It has these cubes is what we call these, cube splitters. Just electrical, splits one plug into three. Do be careful plugging in too many hot lights into one outlet. You very likely will flip the breaker. Has some gaff tape, so hanging any gels we need. You wouldn't want to get this too hot, but anything we need to hang or secure, a little bit of gaff tape goes a long way. And gels. Has all the gels we need for basic color correction. So diffusion to make our light softer, CTO to make our daylight temperature bulbs close to tungsten, and CTB to make our tungsten bulbs mimic daylight, so cooler, 5500 Kelvin. There's varying degrees of strength on this. Get your lights to match. And occasionally someone will have some party gels. So just some various kind of colorful accent lights to add to your scene. And clothespins to attach these gels to the barn doors. C47s, as they are called. And that is the grip kit. Okay, so this is a low light kit. It's all hot lights, all tungsten, so it's all going to be 3200 color temperature. Very like yellow, bright orange that we're used to in most of our houses, except for these LED bulbs that are coming. These get very warm, but they're very bright. So they're great to kind of splash around the room, just bring up the overall light level. You could bounce it off the ceiling, for instance, or a wall that's not in the shot, just to add more light to our scene. And it would be a lot more even just by directing that wall as a big bounce. This Omni is 500 watts, so pretty bright. When I check this out, I just want to inspect the bulb, make sure the filament is intact and it's not cracked or smoked up in there. It's pretty obvious when it is it's broken or not working. These bulbs are very cheap to replace, and they do break pretty often. We have extra bulbs. It's really important that we don't touch this with our bare hands. The oils will heat up the glass and break it. But when you check it out, just make sure you inspect that before you go, so we can get your replacement, and plug it in and test it out. I'm going to put this protector on. It's very important. And the bulb breaks, we want everything to stay in there. So always keep that on. It goes on a light stand, this bottom little mount. Do that here. And then I have a handle to point it where I need it to go. And on the right side I have a little boom arm. And if you can see the camera, let me zoom in a little bit. This boom arm does move the bulb slightly closer and further away from this reflector. And this just focuses our light to be specular, so a hot spot in the middle, or more diffused, kind of more even all across. And then we got our barn doors. And they just snap on very easy there, and then they fold out. You know, these can be a little bit sharp, so be careful when they're at head height. It is better to move them up if we can. And it also mimics the sun, which we like. So they can fold out even more with these eyebrow flags, and I can get a really tight beam by extending them out. So there's barn doors. This black wrap that I was talking about before is very handy for these hot lights. This can get very hot, so no worries there. And I can really wrap it around the barn doors and it'll stay put, like tinfoil. And now I'm not getting any spill while we're working, or a spill on another actor, or weird little dots across the wall. I can completely wrap this light up to make it only go where we want it to. This is powered by these little 3-prong IEC cables. Just go on the back here. And I'll plug it in. And it switches on the cord. It's not on the light. And striking. It's very bright. And I'm just going to show you one more thing about this light. And this is the umbrella and frame holder. I'm going to turn it off while I do this. And I'm actually going to take the barn doors off. In our low kit we'll have gel frames. They just fold out. And it has this little extension arm. And on top of this Omni has a little gel frame holder. And slides right in. I'll tighten that up. And I'll just put a little piece of diffusion. Right now I pretty quickly have diffusion on my light. And I can really quickly take it off. And this also holds an umbrella. And this is just a white umbrella, so I can use it as a diffusion as well. Same idea as what I just had. And it goes the same way. Essentially making my light a lot bigger, spreading out those photons over a larger surface so that it's bouncing back, so I can use it as a bounce. Or still facing the same direction, just a lot softer across the surface here. So frame and an umbrella holder on the top there, and one more element I'll show you on this light. These Lowell systems have these little clips that slide in, various places on these different lights. On this one, it is by the stand mount here in the front. And it's just friction based, so I just slide straight in. And this is a flexible metal piece. And this is a reflector. So I can just slide this on. And now I have a reflector that I can aim the beam really specifically. So if I want to bounce this light in a really specific, I'll have a reflection, I'll kind of have a shape to it that I can then aim around. Alright, so that's the lights in these low kits. It's either going to be an Omni, and a DP, and a Toda, and I'll show you the Toda next. Let's take this out. This is still a little bit hot, it's not that bad, but I don't want to put it directly in the case. I'm going to put it on the table to give it a couple minutes to cool down. This is a Lowell Toda. Also very hot, also tungsten. So also 3200 degrees color temperature. Tighten that on. This knob on the right side is how I aim it. Just rotate it. It's fairly tight, so rotate it where I want it to go. There's no real barn doors to this. I do have a protector on it, and I do have these reflectors, but it doesn't really control too much. So black wrap would be very appropriate if I need to control spill, especially on the top and the bottom. This is either going to be a 750 or 1000-watt bulb, so twice as bright as the Omni usually. This one's frosted, so it's a little bit more diffuse, but still very, very hard light. And I also have a gel and umbrella frame built in. So this is the total light. And I'll open up one more to show you the DPs. Okay, so the last kind of lull hot light that we have here is a lull DP. And this is just 1000 watts, so it's the big sister of the Omni. And it's just a lot brighter. So it's double the amount of light. You can see very, very big light source there. And again, it's the same otherwise. Protective screen, barn door, umbrella holder on the side, also frame holder. And you aim with the handle. And on this side is the boom arm to focus that bulb. And that's the lull kits. I strongly suggest taking out a dimmer with lull kits. They're just so bright. You can use these line diffusion and black wrap to control where it goes, but it's hard to control how bright it is. So we will plug it into here, and I'll show you that. It just plugs up in the top where the power outlet goes. And I'm going to switch this to the variable side, and then once I turn this light on, just striking, I have full control over the wattage, the voltage going to the light. Yeah, I'm not sure you can pick it up, but sometimes this does make a little bit of noise for the bulb here, for the socket there. So I strongly suggest dimmers every time you take this out. The kit should come with all the light cables you need, 3 light stands, umbrellas, additional gels, gel frames, and really important, some gloves. So that's the lull kit. Okay, so this is a refill light. It is also a hot light, but it's very soft. And it has a wide range of available bulbs. You can make, you can put LED bulbs in this, you can put fluorescent bulbs in this. This is a hot bulb, so tungsten, 3200 temperature. Spin this around, and it pops out. I have to be very careful not to touch the bulb. So I have a giant reflector here, and a giant diffusion. This is very bright, it's also 1000 watts. And I will plug it in. Because this one is so big, you want to make sure you're on a pretty sturdy light stand or C-stand and using a sandbag. And I'm going to plug it into the dimmer to give us a little bit more control. And we're striking. And I'll go all the way up, just so you can see it's very bright, very soft, even lighting. It's great for filling a room or as a fill light for several people, a bunch of people. Now this would be hard to gel. We would need to correct our other lights to this temperature. There's not an efficient way of cutting diffusion for this. We could put a piece of diffusion on this, but it's just so big, it's better to match everything else to this. Turn that off. And I just want to make sure it cools down before I pack it away.
Rolling.
Okay, so now I just have clip lights. And these are just your really cheap things you can get from the big box stores, or even the dollar store, probably even grocery stores. Just a light socket and light bulb. I have a dimmer here, so I can control a little more. But you can get very bright bulbs or really tiny little accent bulbs. And it comes with a little clip that you can put somewhere around the ceiling, a ceiling fan. You can kind of hide them behind other lights to add a little bit more to, say, a practical bulb that's in the scene. So like a table lamp, you can hide this behind that and just fill in a little bit more than that lamp's giving you. Super effective to have just a couple of these around to throw a little bit more of that, ambience, much more controlled than, say, these big kits. So clip lights. All right, so this is a Kino Diva light. Gonna put it on the stand with this lollipop adapter. It's called Lollipop. I can just really aim this where I want to go, and I can make this vertical also. And if I put it on a C-stand boom arm, the other part of the stand, I can either put it up and over and have it going down on wherever we need to as well. So this is very soft, even light, and I'll plug it in, show you. This is fluorescent, and it has a built-in dimmer, so I would never want to plug this into another dimmer. It actually might damage the ballast here that's built in. So just remember that. We do not want fluorescent bulbs on dimmers. Most of the time it won't work. Anyway, it has built-in barn doors that I can aim and control that light. And on the back side here, I have a dimmer to control it, and I can also turn off 2 of the lamps if I want just half power or all 4, and dim this down. And it's very soft, even bigger light source. The bulbs come in different color temperatures. This is a 3200 bulb, and I'll just take this egg crate off. This is a honeycomb pattern that really makes the light more directional. So the light's coming this direction versus spreading all over. I don't know if it picks up on camera, but it also cuts down a lot of the light going in every direction, so just focuses it in one. And then this is a gel frame right here. I'll turn off the light, maybe it's a little easier. This is a gel frame, and it's just a thin piece of metal, and I can actually slide a gel in between it. So I can make this daylight, balanced, or tungsten, vice versa. Whatever the bulbs are not, I can easily switch. And it comes with a closure. Put this back on. There's this giant diffusion, which is made for this light. Now I have a much softer diffused light here. This is really great if I'm trying to mimic daylight. I would just gel it, and it'd be really soft and like mimicking light coming through a window, dining room table type scene, a morning room light. This is great for mimicking that diffused sunlight coming into a room. Okay, so this is the Octabella kit, and it's just a soft light kit. It has 3 of these lights, so it's very soft, even lighting. This is really great if you're doing studio shoots that you just need soft fill everywhere, and especially great for green screen because it's 3 of the same lights. So it comes with these LED bulbs that just screw in, Edison socket. You could use other bulbs as well if you want brighter, but these are pretty bright and low energy and don't get hot. And this just pops open. You kind of push the piece in. It has an inner diffusion that can just stay on. And I'll screw in the bulb. Striking. And pretty bright. If I don't need it as diffused, a little bit harder. This is fine as is. but most of the time I want to add the outer diffusion. And there we go. This is the Octobella. And there's 3 of them in here, so it's great to light a room. You can just bounce light everywhere. These bulbs are daylight balanced. You see this nice bright white light. And as long as the bulbs are dimmable, you can add a dimmer on as well. And these are, so you just have to double check. And that's the Octobella kit. Alright, so we got another LED light. This is an LED ice light. Very lightweight, battery powered, and just a nice even soft light. Dimmable, turn it up. Again, easy to position where I want. Imagine you're shooting in a car, you need a little extra light. You can put it below or above our subjects on the dashboard a few feet away, just to give us a little bit more. I can put a gel over this, and I can also clamp it pretty much anywhere I want by using something like a Mayfair. This is a Mayfair super clamp, and it comes with a baby pin, so I can screw it on. I can also put this on a tripod, for instance, but I'll put it on this clamp. So I can clamp this now on a shelf or another C-stand, anywhere I might need a little extra a light in our scene where the other lights would be too hot and too heavy to put safely. The other LED we have is this little Lume Cube Mini, and this is dimmable. Put it down, turn it all the way up. I can also select what color temperature I want. So I want to match tungsten. There's tungsten. This has a diffuse panel on it. So if I want a little bit of a harder light, I'll take that off. It is chargeable by USB. Also powered by USB if you have a USB power source. Some cameras do. And it comes with a hot shoe mount, so I could put it right on top of my camera. So a little bit more of a vlogging style setup, right in front of my subject. And these are great for eye lights, so a little bit further away, also called catch lights, to kind of give us a little bit more life in the eye of our actor, slightly off camera. We're just trying to add a little bit of reflection to give a little bit more of a glow to our subject. So it's great for that kind of thing, and it can be handheld for that, or just put it on a light stand or a little clamp as well, just a little off camera, adding a little bit more. So this is the Lume Panel Mini.